Hello all. In this lecture we'll see about if else statement. So in the previous lectures we have seen if statement, then after that we have seen if else statement, and now we are including a new thing, if else statement. So there is an else if extra here. So you'll see the syntax of this if else if else. So it is much easier. It is easier to understand. It is not that much difficult. So in the first case, we had seen the if statement without else. So we had a Boolean expression, and if it is true, we will execute that body. Then in the second case, what we added is if, and if it is true, it will be executed, and if it is false, we will execute the else part. Okay. Now we are additionally including else if statements. So it is also known as else if ladder. So what we do here is we will first come to this if statement. We will evaluate the Boolean expression. If it is true, then this set of statement will be evaluated. Whatever inside this will be evaluated. After that, we will skip all these statements and we will come out of this statement and we will execute the next statement after this one. If this Boolean expression is false, then it will go to the next else if part. So we have another else if part. Again, we can include another condition and we can check for something. So we will check here also. If this condition is true, then we will go to this body and execute this, and when it reaches here, it will skip everything and it will come out and it will be executing the next state. Now if this Boolean expression 2 is false, then it will check for the next else if statement. And if the Boolean and it will evaluate the Boolean expression, and if it is true, then again it will execute the set of statements, and when it reaches this closing brace, it will come out, it will execute the statement. Now if it is false, then what it does is it will check for another else if. So if there are no else if statements, we can include any number of else if. So we have included only two else if. Again, if you want, you can include another else if statement. And if there is else if, again it will check for some condition. So if all the condition fails, then we will check for else part. If this else is not there, this is also optional. We have already told that else part is optional. So this else part is actually optional. So if there is else part, then if none of the conditions are true, then it will execute the else part and come out of the statement. So in this way we can execute. So this way it happens. So it will check for each expression. Whenever that becomes true, it will execute those set of statements and come out. And it will go on looking for the some statement, some Boolean expression that is true. If none is true, then it will check whether any else statement is there. If that else statement part is there, then all the statements inside that else will be executed if all the above Boolean expressions are false. If this else part is not there, then and all the statements are false, then it will come out like. Okay, so this else part is optional. Now this is an example. Here we have given a equal to 100. So then what we are doing is we are checking whether a equal to 10. We are comparing a and 10. So a is 100 and we are comparing it with 10. So it is false. So what happens? So it will go to the next else if part. It will skip all these statements and it will go to the next else if part. Now it will check a is 100, 100 is compared with 20. So it is also false. So what it does? It will go to the next else if part. So it will go to this else if. So it will skip everything. None of the statements will be executed. Now we will come here and it will check whether 100 equal to 30. So again it is false. So it will check whether there is any else if statement. If there is no else if statement, it will check whether any else statement is there. So we can see an else statement here. So it will go to the else part. And whatever there the else statement is there, so it will be this will be printed, none of the values is matching. This statement will be executed, and after that, after the brace, it will go to the next statement. Okay, so next statement after the if thing. So this way this execution happens. Okay. it will check only if first boolean expression, then else if again you can include any number of else if, like that, and finally if there is an else statement, it will execute that else part if all the conditions are false. So this is another example, the same example. I have given a different value, a is 30. So what it does, it will check whether 30 equal to 10. So it is false. So what it does, it will go to the next part. So 30 not equal to 20. Again, this is false. So it will go to the next else if part. So else if a equal to 30. So here it is true. 30 equal to 30, it is true. So it will execute this statement. Value of a is 30. That will be printed. After that, it will come to this brace. After that brace, it will go to this statement. It will not execute this else part. So in this way, the else if will ladder will work. Okay. So we will see some examples and you will be clear. So I have already some programs included in this. So I'll take it one by one. So Vim, if I will take the first this program. So this is the same thing we have already seen. So instead of giving the value here, I am just entering the value here. I am asking the user to enter the value. Okay. The only difference is here we have printf. We are asking to the user to enter a value, enter a number, and we are getting that value a, and we are storing it in a. Okay. That is why ampersand a is there. Now we have already seen this example, the same thing only. So if we enter a equal to 10, so if we are entering 10, then it will check for the first boolean expression 10 equal to 10, it is true. So it will this statement will be executed, value of a is 10. Then after that, when it reaches its braces, so it will come out of the loop. Okay, it will come out of the loop and it will execute the next statement after the else if ladder. So this is the statement. So print the exact value of a is percentage like that it will be printed, and the return statement. So all these statements will be skipped. Okay. Now if it is false, if a is entered some other value, if a is 100, now this is false. So this is false. So what happens? It will go to the next else if statement. It will check whether 100 equal to 20. So it is false. So it will go to the next else if statement. 100. It will again check 100 equal to 30. That is also false. So what it does is it will go to the next else if statement. It will come here and it will check whether 100 equal to 30, and we can see that it is also false. So it will go to the else statement and print the value. Okay. Some overwritten is there. Okay. Let me delete this thing. Okay. So I'm going to compile it. So gcc and dot slash a dot out. Now you will be asked to enter a value, so you can enter any value. So I am going to enter 100. If it is 100, none of the values is matching. That is, the else part will be executing, because we are checking only a, whether a is equal to 10, then 20, then 30. Now if I give some other value like a equal to 20, now I am going to give a equal to 20. So first if part will be skipped and the second thing will be entered. So value of a is 20 will be printed, and the exact value of a is 20 will be. So this way it will be executing. Okay. Now we will take one more program. So I have another program, Vim if else if it is, I think it is, let me check it out, if else if 1.c is there, 1.c. So this is another program. Here we have two persons, so we are going to enter two persons marks. So let it be Anand and Neda from your class. So we are taking 2 marks, integer marks 1 and marks 2, we have declared two integer variables here. Now we are asking to enter the marks of Anand and Neda. So ampersand marks 1 and ampersand marks 2. We have already seen this scanf statement. You can enter any percentage. If you are giving 2%, then you have to include 2 ampersand thing. So it will be the first percentage, the first marks will be stored in address of marks 1, and the second percentage, the second marks will be stored at marks 2. So it will be stored there. It will be stored in the address location. Okay. So Anand's marks is marks 1 and Neda's marks is marks 2. So then we will compare if marks 1 equal to marks 2, whether marks, both the marks are same. So if it is same, then we will print. Okay, I'll change the names here. Even though I have changed the names above, I forgot to change it here. So instead of Anand, so I will mention that Anand and Neda have equal marks. Then, so if marks equal to marks 1, then we will print that Anand and Meda have equal marks. Then, if Neda have equal marks, then we will check whether if marks 1 greater than marks 2. So that means Anand has more marks. So we will print uh, Anand has higher marks. Okay, we can print anything. So we will print Anand has higher marks than Neda. Okay, Neda. Then if we have entered, if it is true only, it will be executed. If it is false, then it will go to the else part. So we have included only one else statement and an else statement. Now we will go to the next statement. So here, if both the conditions are false, that means Neda is having the higher marks than Anand, because we have checked whether they are equal, then it is equal marks. Otherwise, we will check whether marks 1 is greater than marks 2, then it means Anand has more marks. Otherwise, Neda has higher marks than Anand. Okay, so I'll make it Neda has higher marks than Anand. Okay, so this is the way it will be executed. So we have only one else if statement here, then an else. So we will check whether they are equal. If so, then we will print this. If it is not equal, then we will check for the next condition, whether marks 1 is greater than marks 2. If it is so, then we will print this. If it is also false, then the else part will be printed. Neda has higher marks than Anand. Okay. So we will save it and compile it. Then let me clear it. Okay, GCC. The name is if else if. Okay, else if 1 dot c dot slash a dot out. So enter the marks of Anand and Neda. So I'll give equal marks for them. Let it be 89 and 89. So I am entering a same marks. So Anand and Neda have equal marks will be printed. Okay. Now I'll give some other different marks. Let it be 87 and 86. So Anand I am giving as 87 and Neda as 86. Then Anand has higher marks and Neda will be printed. So the second statement will be printed. Okay. Now if I am giving lesser marks for this Anand and 89 marks for Neda. So sorry, 78 and 89, then Neta has higher marks than Anand. So it will execute the else part. Okay. So this way we can run this program. Okay. I will show one more example. F will else if 2.c. Okay. Else if 2.c is there. So we will take another example. So this is a program to check whether a number is negative or zero or positive number. So if we can enter any number, we can enter either as negative number or a positive number or zero. So we will check whether it is negative, 0 or positive. So we will ask the person to enter the number. Then it is stored in X, ampersand X. So it is stored in X, address location of X. Now we will check whether X, the entered number, equal to 0. If it is 0, then we'll print X is 0. If it is false, then it will go to the else statement. So I have not included the braces and all. I have already mentioned if there is only a single statement, no need to include braces and all. So I have avoided that braces. Here, if it is true, then this statement will be printed. If it is false, this is condition is false, then it will check whether x greater than 0. So if it is a positive number, then we will print x is positive. And if it is also false, if the statement is also false, then it will execute the else part. So else part means then the number will be negative. If it is 0 and not positive number, then automatically it will be a negative number. Okay. So we will run this program. GCC if else if2.c /a.out. So we are asked to enter a number. So you can enter any number. I am going to enter 34. So 34 is a positive number. Now I enter minus 98. So x is negative will be shown. Now I'll enter 0. So 0. Then x is 0 will be shown. So this way you can run this program. Okay. So whenever it is based on that condition. So whatever condition, so we specify based on the condition, it will be evaluated. So we'll check each one, and finally the else part will be checked. So if that else part is missing, nothing will be executed. Okay. Now I'll show one more program. Vim if else if 3.c. Okay. So actually, this program it is to find the scorecard. So if you are entering some marks, we will calculate the grade of that student. Okay. So if you are entering some marks, then we will say if you are entering a grade above 90, then you will say the student has 90 A grade. If it is above 80, we say the student has B grade. If the score marks is above 70, we say that student has C grade. So this is to calculate the grade. Okay. So we have a score. We are declaring an integer score. Then we are declaring a character type variable. We call it as grade. Then we are asking the person to enter score. That is, we have to enter an integer marks from up to 100. Okay, up to 100 only. 0 to 100 any marks can be entered. Now what we have to do, we have to print whether what is the grade based on that marks. So if the score, if the entered marks is greater than or equal to 90, if it is above 90 or equal to 90, then the grade we are assigning A. This is a character and it will be assigned to grade. So grade is a character type. So we are assigning that, we have to include in single quotes that A character is assigned to grade. If it is false, then it will go to the next else if part. It will check whether score entered is greater than or equal to 80. If it is true, then we will assign this B. We are not printing here. We are simply entering it. So B, we are simply assigning the value to grade. So B will be assigned to grade. Okay, B is a character. Then after that, if it is false, then again it will go to the else if part. Again we will check whether score is greater than or equal to 70. If it is true, then C will be assigned to grade. Okay. Then after that, it will check. If it is false, then it will check for this condition. Score greater than or equal to 60. So if it is true, then D value will be assigned to grade. And if it is none of the conditions are true, then the else part will be executed, grade F will be allocated. So those above below 60 marks, we will have this F grade. So if you see that we have included 3 else if. So I have mentioned that you can include any else if statement. So we have 4 boolean expressions that are to be evaluated. Okay. So we have first expression, second, third, fourth. Okay. And none of the things is evaluated to true, then the else part will be evaluated. Then after that, finally the printf statement. Whatever statement it is executing, finally we will be printing the grade is percentage C will be printed and grade will be entered. Okay. And the grade will be displayed here. Grade is percentage C. Somebody had asked me how to print this character. You have to use this percentage C. Okay, percentage C, and grade is a character type. So we either print A, B, C, D, F like that. It will be printed. Okay. So I'll show that example. I'll run this program. So GCC, I'll just clear it. GCC if else if just 2.c, I think so. Let me check whether it is 2. No, it is 2 3.c. So it is 3.c. So then we have to run this dot slash a dot out. Now enter the score. So you can enter any score. Whatever score you want, you can enter. If I enter 95, you will get the grade as A. Okay. Now, if I enter a score, if you are entering 34, then you will get an F grade. Okay. Now, if you are entering 70, then the grade will be C. Now, if you are entering a grade of 67, you will get D grade. So all these grades will be printed. So whatever marks you enter, based on that, that if statement will be executed. So I'll show one more program just to make it thorough. I think there's a program like no. Let me check whether it is there. There's one more program, else if dot 3. It is not there. Okay, only this much programs is there. One more thing you have to note. One more program I have included. Let me check it out. If I've forgotten one program, whether I've forgotten a third program I have included, then 18 if else if. So one more program is there. So I forgot to include this thing. So vim if else if dot c. So I have not seen this program. If else dot if dot c, that is not there. Okay. I forgot to download it. Let me take that program. It is already there. I'll copy it from here. Okay. So I'll copy this as another program with the same thing. Oh, sorry. I'll open. Code blocks won't work. If it is working, then we can run in code blocks also. No problem. Okay, let it be like that. I'll run it here itself. Vim if else. Sorry. Vim if else if dot c. So I'll copy it here. I've not copied it. Huh? So I have copied that program. So here the program is to check whether you can marry or not. Your age, based on your age and sex, you will see whether you are able to marry. Okay. So this is a program. So what you are going to do is I am declaring an age integer and I am declaring a character ch variable. Now you are asked to enter your age. So you have to enter an age and that age will be stored in this age variable. Okay, let me give some spaces and all. Okay, so you will be entering your age and age will be stored there. Then after that, you are asked to enter your sex, whether M or F. So you should enter capital M or F because I am checking only capital M and F. So you should either enter capital M or capital F. So it will be scanned using this CH. So you are using this percentage C. So now what you have to note is that so if you see this thing, if this scan of percentage C, I have included a space here. Okay, so I have included a space here. So let me remove that space here. Without that space, I'm going to show what happened. Okay, so I'm going to remove that space here. I have removed that space. So it is a space. Now scan of percentage C, ampersand CH. So CH is a character type. So you are entering it here. So either you have to enter M or F. Okay. Now if you are going to check whether age greater than or equal to 18. So if the age is greater than or equal to 18, so this is an logical expression. We have ampersand symbol. So and operator is there. So it is a logical expression. And in that logical expression, we have a relational operator here and a relational operator here. So according to the operator precedence, so first relational operations should be done. So we have to do this one. It is left to right associativity, and before that, there is equality operator should be evaluated first. According to the operator precedence, the equality operator will be evaluated first, even though it is this has higher precedence than the other. So equal to and not equal to has higher precedence than less than, greater than, all those. So if you are giving in this order also, first double equal to will be evaluated. So it will check whether the character entered is F, CH is F. So if it is true, then it will check here also. So it will check whether age is greater than or equal to 18. So if both the conditions are true, if this is true and this is true, then only it will work. So both true means the whole expression will be true in the case of and. So you can refer that in the case of and, both the conditions should be true. If one is false, then this won't be executed. So, okay. So if both the condition is true only, it will be executed. Okay. Now, both the conditions are true, then you can print that you are eligible to marry. So the age of female should be 18. It should be 18 or more. Then only you can marry. Then similarly, if it is false, if both the conditions are false, you can check whether the age is greater than or equal to 21 and a character is M, whether the character entered is M, then also you are eligible to marry. Otherwise, in all the cases, you are not eligible to marry. So else, sorry, you can marry, like that. You will be printed. So we have only one else if here. So we have included only one else if here. So this is the case. So here we have included a logical expression. So this is same only thing you will check whether this statement is true. If it is true, then this part will be executed. If it is false, then it will check for the next else if. If it is true, then this will be executed. Otherwise, it will be executing the else part. Okay. So I'll run this program. GCC if else if dot c. There is some missing. I forgot to include some. So one more braces will be needed. So where I have forgotten. So so there's one more needed because I have not closed the integer main function. I have forgotten to close it. So you require one more thing here. So one more braces is needed. So to close that, you can include the return statement also. It's not mandatory. Okay. Okay, it is now okay. Now it's fine. Now I'll run this program a dot out. So you are asked to enter the age. Now I am going to enter the age as 19. So there's a problem here. So if you see that there is a problem here. Why this problem has occurred? Because that second value is not taken here. So that is why I have mentioned that you should include a, space here. So what happens is when you press, when you type 18 and when you press the enter key, that enter key is also considered as a character. So the compiler takes that enter key as a character. So it will not take this character. So it will go directly. So what happens is, so you have to include a space before this percentage C. Simply include a percentage C here, space here. So if you do not include the space here, then what happens is after entering age, when you press the enter key, that enter key will be taken as this character and it will be stored in CH. So it won't wait for the M and F value. Okay. So that is what is happening there. That is why there is an error there. Okay. So that's why I remove that space to show that thing. Now I'll again compile it. Now there is no error. Now I am going to execute it. Now I am going to enter age as 19. Now it is working. Now I am going to enter the value. It should be either capital or small M or capital F. Okay. You should not enter small letters because it will take only capital M and capital F. So I am going to enter M. Sorry. So you cannot marry because 19 and M is not possible. Now you can run with another program, 17 and F, capital F, you cannot marry. So you can't marry, it will be written because female age should be at least 18. Now you can enter some other value, that is 22 and male. So you are eligible to marry, like that will be printed. You can check for female also, you are entering as 24 and F. So you are eligible to marry. So this way it will be executed. So the program here, what you have to note here is the character. So when you scanf, use percentage C, try to leave a blank space. Some cases if you leave a space after percentage C also, that will also work. That you can include a space here, then only it will work, because if you are including some other statement before that and if there is an enter key, that enter key will be taken as a character. Okay. So that's all about this if else if ladder. So you remember this thing. Thank you.